On the dark night of August 8, 1963, a Royal Mail train was racing through the English countryside from Glasgow to London. Inside one special carriage were sacks filled with cash worth nearly £67 million in today's money, almost 800 crore. The train driver, Jack Mills, pushed forward through the silent night, unaware that he was heading straight into one of the most legendary robberies in history. Suddenly, a signal ahead turned red. That was strange. This particular crossing almost never showed a red light for the Royal Mail train. But protocol was protocol. Jack Mills slammed the brakes. The massive train screeched to a halt on the deserted tracks. For a few seconds, there was complete silence. Then, out of the darkness, armed men emerged from the bushes. This was the beginning of the Great Train Robbery. Months earlier, a criminal mastermind named Bruce Reynolds had assembled a gang of experienced thieves in London. But this wasn't going to be an ordinary robbery. Their target was a secret Royal Mail carriage known as the High Value Packages Coach, or HVP van, which regularly transported huge amounts of cash across Britain. The gang had an insider. Someone connected to Royal Mail leaked critical information about the train schedule, the cash shipment, and even the security weaknesses. And on that specific night, everything aligned perfectly for the robbers. Normally, the HVP carriage had alarm systems installed, but that night, the secure wagons were out of service. A reserve carriage with no alarm system was attached instead. Even more shocking, because of a recent bank holiday weekend, the train carried almost 12 times more cash than usual. The robbers knew this would be their one perfect chance. Around 3 a.m., gang members secretly tampered with the railway signal at Sears Crossing. They covered the green light and powered a fake red signal using a battery. As the Royal Mail train approached, Jack Mills saw the red light and stopped immediately. The assistant driver climbed down to use the trackside phone, but the line had already been cut. Suddenly, masked robbers attacked. They overpowered the assistant driver and stormed the engine cabin. When Jack Mills resisted, one robber struck him in the head with an iron bar, knocking him unconscious. Meanwhile, other gang members uncoupled the first two carriages from the rest of the train. Their target was now isolated. The plan was flawless. The robbers had brought along a retired train driver to move the engine, but there was one problem. He didn't know how to operate this newer locomotive. So the gang forced the injured Jack Mills to drive the train nearly 1 kilometer to Bridego Bridge. Waiting below the bridge was a trap. Inside the HVP carriage were 128 sacks packed with cash. The robbers tied up the postal workers and formed a human chain. Working rapidly, they passed sack after sack down to the waiting truck. In just 15 minutes, they loaded 120 bags, weighing nearly 2.5 tons. Then, they vanished into the night, without firing a single gunshot. It became the biggest robbery Britain had ever seen. The gang escaped to a hidden farmhouse about 40 kilometers away. At first, they celebrated their success. Some even played Monopoly, using real stolen money. But the celebration didn't last long. Police quickly launched a massive nationwide manhunt. The robbers planned to destroy the farmhouse and erase all evidence. They wiped fingerprints from almost everything. But they forgot one crucial detail: the Monopoly board. Police discovered fingerprints left behind during the game. Those prints matched known criminals already in Scotland Yard records. One by one, the gang members were identified and arrested. Out of the 16 people involved, 14 were eventually captured. But 2 disappeared forever. One was the mystery insider for Royal Mail who leaked the information. To this day, nobody knows his true identity. The Great Train Robbery shocked the entire world. The criminals became infamous as the Bridego Bridge Gang, and the robbery entered British criminal history forever. Train driver Jack Mills never fully recovered from the attack and died years later from the trauma. And even now, decades later, the Great Train Robbery remains one of the boldest and most perfectly planned heists ever carried out, all without firing a single shot.